enroll, you know, here, or keep them connected, or they're going to do off the hook. They're not calling you back, and keep them connected as well.
You might want to say what off the hook is.
Off the hook is if you've called someone several times and they're not calling you back, they're not responding, you're going to leave a message to the effect of, we're friends first, it's okay, if I call you again, it's not about this, it's about something else, so I love you, we're always friends.
I don't want to bug you.
Forever, yes. So that's off the hook, so that you're not one of those people, right? And so if they enroll, they become a client, they get supported, and at some point you're going to do I plus Q equals A, make an invitation. Oh, okay.
Possibly put them in the games.
Or you put them in the games, and then they are either going to just stay here as a client, or they come around and become a new coach. And then it starts over.
Wow.
Great. All right, so let's give a big hand, all right? Okay, I wanted to get them both captured, so how do I get a capture?
They get the 30,000 foot view. Now, of course,
That was just the 30,000.
of course, they could go down 2 or 3 levels of detail.
You can drill down every box.
Every box.
Yeah.
And then, but they have it all systemized.
Yes.
And they have it all scripted. So there's very little variation. Very, very little variation.
So I would love to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll.
Kim, he says he would love to see the whole thing.
That's true.
What?
He says he would love to see the whole thing.
Right now?
Well, not right now, but what I'd like to do, if we're going to go to the next level, you do really need to. This is fabulous to start. Really nice
You want
job.
to sit here, Lauren?
And then there's another level, which is leadership level.
Yeah.
So this is what Greg asked me to do last minute, so let me just go over this. I don't know how you go, a system supports the process, but this would be what I would call, we just do it, I don't see it working like field-wide in terms of the company doing this, but it could be a template, like our team, some coaches, leaders, presidentials, globals on our team, take it to do a template of it in their teams. So it could work like that, but basically it's just...
This is also fractal, right?
Yes.
What is it?
It's fractal. When you have a template that it doesn't require, when you can break something off and keep the structure,
Oh yeah, the
but then you can
cauliflower.
change the flavor.
Yeah,
Or,
cauliflower.
you know, the leader, it's
The
fractal.
metaphor.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Cauliflower.
Got it. Okay, so basically every new coach of the leaders that want to do this, they go into, they are given a list of calls they get on for new coaches. And they're small groups, and they're led by one of the trainers on our team that need, and this is all team-wide, so they're all mixed up. 2 EDs per call. They have to be ED by volume because we want to make sure they know how to acquire clients. Okay, so that's one of the criteria I made, and of course certified. And they lead the call together, and these people get on. And the high five information is different than the go-getter information. So they stay here till they're a senior coach. Then they go into this group next. They're celebrated as a senior coach here. We have a party, you know, a Zoom call once a month. High five celebration, and then they go into this group. And these are just small groups. We've done semblances of this for about 5 or 6 years, where people just get together in small groups, they interact with each other, they ask questions that, you know, they see other people at their level, and they're led by 2 of these trainers that sign up to do the call for the month. They're 30-minute calls, 1 time a week, and they're Zooms if possible. They get on Zoom, if not, they can call. And the biggest benefit we found here is that this is the biggest, this is what has really impacted people more than even these. The trainers love this because this keeps the system pure. This keeps the training strong down through the ranks because they are learning they have to commit to just doing the training, being ED by volume and certified. And so that's really strengthening them.
It's a qualified extended mentorship program.
Yeah.
And we could gamify it.
Yes.
We could gamify the whole thing.
Yes.
One of the globals or presidentials on our team, I don't even do all the train the trainer training anymore.
Because there's one more call, which is that call. Put that call up on the board.
It's not a call.
The train the trainer?
Yeah, when you're training the trainers.
Yeah, it's a video I do or somebody does once a week
Oh,
that says,
okay.
here's the topic. And guess what we train?
Oh, great.
Guess what we train?
On the basics.
We call it the 4 pillars, which is what are you excited about sharing? What are you excited about sharing? Who are you going to tell? What are you going to say? And then what? And that's what this process is. That's what this process is.
Marshall, they have a really well-oiled follow-up and what they call connections campaign.
And where's all this captured? Do you have it captured in
I sent it to you in an email, but
No, but do you have
here,
like a CRM though? Do you have?
Well, they do. They're jerry rigging. They're using Mad Mimi for some. They're using Office in Motion for some, and we're doing our own database in Excel here, and we're reporting. So we're doing what we can with what we have.
It's just
well,
a
and the
little bit of
problem is
variation
that
though.
Well, that's the reality.
yeah. Well, and the thing is that to explain it, some of you looked at some of our systems the other day and said, "Oh, that looks really complicated," and this looks complicated, but in reality, it's really not. But to explain it sounds complicated.
Not really.
Does that make sense? But to some people, if it's foreign, it's complicated. So it's really not. In reality, if you knew how your Apple
different.
worked, it would be complicated to explain how
It'd
it
be a lot
worked,
less
but it would
complicated
work.
if we were in Dr. A's office on the big board.
Exactly.
It's too small.
All right.
Exactly.
So any questions?
Well, it's a great. I can feel the energy. Okay,
Yeah.
It'll take me a while to fully absorb it, but I really appreciated it. This is very nice. And,
Yeah.
You know, the energy feels really good over here. You know.
Well, one more thing. We start every coach with, because what are the three things most, like every new coach is worried about? I don't want to
Be
sell.
Yep.
I don't want to bug
Offend.
people. I don't want to offend, right? So that's what shuts them up when they're becoming a coach, because all of a sudden now I'm that guy. So we actually try to help them see from the beginning that they aren't looking for clients. They're out getting the word out. They're making connections. They're just letting the world know what they're doing and what's happened to them and tell their own story. So when they can shift to that, picking up the phone or instigating a conversation changes everything. Because if they think they're selling something, that shuts most people down. So we really try to posture that with their thinking right from the beginning.
Cam, are you still doing practice partners, or are you just doing...
That's why the three-way calls, three-way
Three-way
practice.
practice, yeah.
Not practice.
Tell why though, Kim. Why are you no longer doing
Not
practice
to real
partner calls?
candidates, but
To real candidates only.
but you're not practicing.
We need to take that out of our training
really.
guide.
Three-way call.
It's a
No.
three-way call.
We have that in our training
Go
guide.
ahead, Amber.
How many?
But it's
How
supposed to
many?
be
How many of
real
the first 5
prospects,
clients
not
will you do the 3-way with?
So you
Mother.
usually have low-hanging fruit,
the
right? I
definition
mean,
of
how
practice.
often do you not have anybody that they really think is maybe interested?
Always somebody.
So there's
Well, if they
usually
have a
at
weight
least-
loss
Have a
story.
story.
Even not, because
Okay.
a lot of times they have someone in their head that I became a coach to help my mom,
Everybody be please
or
be quiet. Thank you.
type of a thing. So there's usually always low-hanging fruit. So we ask them, you know, even if who do you want to have a really good explanation of this program so they know what you're doing that could have a good experience even. But we try to not do fake calls. Like, oh, have your husband get on, even though he's already a client, let's fake and do.
Yeah, I
You're
like
just wasting time because
Yeah.
your mentor are people like us, people with kids, people with grandchildren, people that
Jobs.
you don't want to have to, like, your whole life is practice calls till the end of the time. So that's why we try to do it with actual real people to make it a really beneficial, actual good call. And I don't have a set rule of how many I do. This coach might need 5 practice calls that I'll do.
Do you do all of them or do you mix?
No, we have a lot of coaches that
This
after
coach would
they
need
hear it
one.
one time, they're like, I'm good.
And we also
And
have a
we'll
script
get on
for
and-
it,
yeah.
so that helps them.
That helps a
Follow.
lot.
But most of your coaches are used to sharing a really good thing already, right? The people that are in your congregate or your
Not everyone's Mormon on our team.
Oh, really?
Not even close.
You guys have a
We're losing members, right? And then convert them. Listen, I think I'd like to.
Hey, Mark.
I'm just curious, in your experience, because you obviously have a system to use in a script, how much variability would you say there is in the calls in terms of content, in terms of questions, in terms of issues? And the reason I ask is because it may be possible, and I can see advantages and disadvantages to this depending on the people, to develop a series of short videos of calls. So people, it doesn't mean people wouldn't work with their sponsor, but they can learn right up front, right away.
Yeah.
This is easy, it doesn't take long, it's not complicated, and how the mentor helps. I'm just wondering.
We actually do have it, like we call it the interested call, because it's with someone who's interested in enrolling as a client. We have it on, it's a video, and a script, and I have them watch that before we even do the first one. So have I had coaches who said, no, I want to skip the three-way call thing? Yeah. And if they're signing some people up, I figure, hey, they're probably
I'm
doing
just thinking
well,
that could be a training, that could be a powerful training tool for new coaches.
yeah.
Great.
One of the things in helping them set up the three-way, do you have a nice mechanism or training or script for that?
Yeah, we have this. Yes.
That's an important piece.
Yes.
And how many of you are just kind of automatically resistant to scripts? Raise your hand, be honest.
Or have people in your organizations who are.
Yeah, some
We
people.
actually have a couple of people in our organization that have run call centers and things like that we've had do trainings on the power of scripts.
The science of scripts.
The science of scripts. And it's been powerful for our entire organization to hear those people because just like habits, it ingrains, it's that neuroplasticity. It changes how we think, and so we don't have to expend too much energy on things. But the questions are the power of the emphasis script or call. So we certainly have a list of ideas and stuff, but that's I think that's one of the most important parts of training new coaches, to just learn how to listen to people and ask those questions.
Yes.
Jared, I have an opposition to scripts, but not bullet points. Because things have to be delivered in your own language.
Exactly.
And if you write a script in Utah, that script in the Bronx may not work.
Totally agree. I actually, this is actually what I tell my new coaches. Hey, I want you to read through
Hey, I'm
the
super
script.
excited today. How are you doing?
Exactly.
Say, yo, give me your card now.
That's exactly what I said in Salt Lake, isn't it? I'm like, I tell my coaches to look through the script and basically bullet points, rewrite it in their own words, because if
Keeping the main points. Yeah.
keeping the main points, because some surfer or something, I'm not gonna have them speaking formally. I'm gonna be like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah.
Like,
I just have an add-on to what Jared said for you, Dom, because I learned from you, Dom, that the master of analogy, how to, explain something to somebody. When you're doing a script, because I used to have a telemarketing company where I wrote scripts for a few hundred people that they used hundreds of times a day. And the power of a script is amazing. But if you look at if you took a foreign language in junior high school, you took Spanish or German, after a week in that class, could you be transplanted to Germany and speak fluent German? So it's not going to happen. But if you're able to role play these, it's going to come into your own, your own feelings going to come out of that script. But the scripts were designed to work, and they do.
Yep.
Yeah, I just have one question here. If you guys would just recall a person in your life, just real quick, recall someone in your life before you were 16 who had a significant positive impact in you. Just get that person in your head. Everyone got one? 16 or younger that really had a positive. Was it because they were, I don't know how the cover of these, but my color pens, are they missing? Do we have any over there?
Here's a black one. I don't know where the lid is.
Why is it so important to use colored pens, Marshall?
Is it because that person was, and think about that person, was it because they were, interesting, or was it because they were Which is it that made the positive impact? Yeah, and so what I found is if you could just stay in the context, thank you very much, in the context of this with your scripts, in other words, making sure what your interest did, not interesting.
That's actually
Now,
how
if
we
you're on,
train it.
what?
That's how we train it.
Yeah, it's a completely different experience. So I don't know if the being script necessarily, but the context has to be interesting. And like you said, the 3 or 4 things to just be really interesting. The thing for me is to capture this in a way, and then you add network science, in a way that it's in your customer relationship management. Because if you can do that, then the next person who picks up can also be interested in the same information. And then if you get a network science, the strings of the weak tie and all of that stuff, once you understand the power of the weak tie,